Putting it together is very similar. So after you take the ribbon cable out and check and clean everything, what you want to do is, here, let me take this out again. You always want to make sure they're fully out where they're not stuck. So after you do, you want to put this in such that it slides in. So you want it to go as far in as possible. Make sure that these are all the way up. That way it can go in and it's not clipped out. Then you want to close the locks. There can be different locks on different boards, but this one has these two on the sides, which is a pretty common form. Make sure the speaker properly fits in, and then make sure the motherboard doesn't move and slots in. Then take your screws, put them in the correct holes, and you want to wind them backwards first. That way you're not going to round the, you don't want to re-screw it because these are self-tapping. Just make sure it pops in like that and screw it in. You'll just have to round it back until it pops down. There. Like that. And the third one. If you don't know what you're doing and can't remember where the screws are, before you take them out, always take a picture of the board if you're not experienced with taking those apart. So then you want to take the switch, make sure you're putting it in the correct way. This is how it makes sure it gets stuck. There is a slight bump on one side and flat on the other. So you want to take that bump and insert it down. Make sure the switch is in one of the positions. That way it goes in and it should switch. Then carefully put the back on to where those can slide in. Make sure everything's together. And then you want to do the same thing as earlier, and you want to put your screws in, grab the correct bit, okay, and wind backwards. After getting it all the way down, wind backwards to make sure you're not going to re-tap the screws. That's the term I was looking for earlier. And do that for all 6. If 1 or 2 stayed in, that doesn't matter, you just have to do the exact same thing. Just make sure they're in the hole. Just make sure not to lose any screws. But if 1 or 2 are lost on the case, just leave out one of the sides, as that's one of the easiest places, or that's one of the places where it needs the least amount of security if it's all the way secure on top and bottom. Yeah. They should be very easy to slide in, or somewhat easy. You shouldn't feel much resistance. Then put in your batteries. Make sure that they are working batteries. Put in a game. This is Pokemon Yellow. And should work.